Peace and pugilism. All right. I'm only want to come on a quick live, boxing fans. A quick live. And I wanted to talk about Mr. Baba Yaga. Okay? That man right there, Anthony Joshua. Peace and pugilism, I'll offer you this. And I want to talk about the Joshua dilemma. Okay? And this is not a hate video. This is merely observation. Listen closely to what I'm saying. I'm not allowing anybody on because it's not going to be that long. But it's just some things I wanted to really, really, really say about Anthony Joshua. And where I feel the problem is. Anthony Joshua. Andrew Garden, that's peace. But let me start off with the man where it started it all. And forget the man to the left. We're going to talk about the man to the right. And that is Andy Ruiz Jr. Okay? Yeah. It started with that guy right there, right? After Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., you know what we all did? You know what probably a lot of people on the Joshua's team did? And pundits and all this and all that. We failed to look at that fight and recognize that Joshua only did one thing wrong in that entire fight. Truthfully. He only did one thing wrong. Okay? And it got blown out of proportion. There was one thing he did wrong that caused a domino effect of everything that came after that. Joshua, the Joshua that was fighting Andy Ruiz, is a Joshua that is built a particular way, has a particular style that could beat anybody in the heavyweight division. Facts. But when he lost that fight, and I'm gonna get back to my point, but when he lost that fight, everybody started looking for what was wrong with Joshua. And let me tell you this, the Joshua that fought Ruiz the first time in Madison Square Garden, there was nothing wrong with that Joshua. I'm talking style-wise. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that Anthony Joshua. What was wrong is Anthony Joshua made a fatal mistake in that fight. He was winning all the way up till he made the mistake. The mistake after he knocked down, dropped Andy Ruiz Jr. in that fight. And the mistake he made was patience. He lost patience. And he broke a cardinal rule that we all have heard and know. And that cardinal rule is don't hook with a hooker. Especially one that could hook much faster than you. That's all Anthony Joshua did wrong. He started to hook with a hooker. He became impatient. He fell away from what he did best. Peace out to Mr. Christoph Stance. Peace and pugilism to your king. Happy holidays. He lacked his patience. He let the nerves get to him, and he made a fatal mistake. And then after that, he made more fatal mistakes. He hooked with a hooker. Period. That's all Anthony Joshua did wrong in Andy Ruiz in the first fight versus Andy Ruiz. There was nothing wrong with his style at all. At all. He was perfectly fine in that fight till the first knockdown, which of course led to the immediate next knockdown. And then it just, the wheels started falling off. But he is the Joshua machine, or why he was built to be, is not a wheel that needed reinventing. Okay, people? Anthony Joshua is a fundamentally sound, tactical brute. That's what he is. A fundamentally sound, technical, and tactical brute. Bully, brawler, puncher. Anthony Joshua did not spend all that time building up his physicality, the physique, to go the size, to be a fighter that fights bouncing around, trying to float like a damn butterfly and sting like a bee. That is not who he is. And I imagine that's not who he imagined himself to be. Anthony Joshua, again, is a fundamentally sound, tactical brute that goes forward. He is not built to fight going backwards. He is built to impose his will on you in a tactical manner. We should very rarely see Anthony Joshua ever move backwards. No, he does not have the feet of Muhammad Ali to be trying to be a la Muhammad Ali. He's not comfortable with it. And you could see it. You saw it versus Pulev. That's why that fight took longer than it was supposed to take. Why? He was thinking too much. The loss to Andy Ruiz has his team trying to now reinvent something that didn't need to be reinvented. All it needed was oiling and refining. Anthony Joshua is a fighter that has every punch to his arsenal. Now, the one that needs to be improved the most is the jab. That's it. And that would keep the fuckers that run up on him, would try to bum rush him or blitz him off. A hard, stiff jab. The only thing Anthony Joshua needed to work on, well, one of the main things was his timing. That's it. Reflexes, coordination. But he did not need to be a pure boxer or trained to be a pure boxer. It was nothing wrong with Anthony Joshua. Now you got him second guessing himself in a ring. And mind you, Anthony Joshua was fast-tracked. Fighters usually with 22, 23 fights in their career are finding themselves along that point. But in the case of Joshua, he is finding himself while being the unified heavyweight champion of the world, which is one of the reasons why he's under much scrutiny and being dissected and picked apart. Joshua can never or should never be trying to fight like an Ali. Why? He's not Muhammad Ali. He is Anthony Joshua. He's not built like Ali. He doesn't have the particular tools or the feet of Ali. And trying to have him do that, it's not going to make him look better. It's just going to make him look worse. The Anthony Joshua that beat Povetkin looked marvelous. The Anthony Joshua that beat Dylan White looked marvelous. It's a mixture of those two that is the perfect Anthony Joshua. And what did he do against Dylan White? He was a tactical brute that kept coming nothing but forward. Period. He has a very decent and pretty good chin, too. Maybe not the best, but you can't say it's no, he's never been knocked out. When he was stopped, it was on his feet. He got dropped by Klitschko. He came back. The fight versus Vladimir Klitschko showed you who he was. When he came out in that fourth round and just blitzed Klitschko out of no freaking where. Like, where the fuck did this come from? You know why? It was something about him that say, I need to go forward and impose my freaking will. And that's what he did. And dropped Klitschko, but twice in that round. Bum rushed him. The main thing, when you have somebody like Anthony Joshua trying to more so box too much, it messes with his psyche. It messes with his psyche. Why? He's too big and strong to be a fighter that's moving backwards. That's not what I'm sure he don't imagine in his mind. Somebody who will be able to overpower him. He built his physique. He was lifting all those muscles, lifting all those weights, building up all those muscles to be a person that will impose himself on you regardless. He's more of a George Foreman than he will ever be of a Muhammad Ali. You feel me? He's more of a George Foreman ever than he will ever be of a Muhammad Ali. But he will be a more technically sound and fundamentally sound fighter than George Foreman will ever be. He's already that now. Joshua moving forward is all positive for Joshua. A Joshua moving backwards isn't positive for Joshua. So again, it's no need in reinventing the wheel for Anthony Joshua. You're just going to screw his head up too much. And that's one of the reasons why he was fatiguing. I don't think Anthony Joshua looked like he was tired. When you saw Anthony Joshua fight the Alexander Povetkin, Joshua never looked fatigued in that fight. You know why? Because he didn't do too much. He stuck to a game plan. He moved forward. He was tactical. Hard jab. Threw the right there. Low jab. Came in. Faded low jab. Strong straight right overhand. Rocks Povetkin. Then the finish. A tactical brute. He likes to brawl. He got caught by Dylan White doing that. Yeah. He shook it off. Okay. But he needed to be a fundamentally sound, tactical brute. That's what he is. If anything Joshua needs is a jump rope, which just increases his stamina and overall coordination. But if you have him trying to be a boxer, you will have him thinking too much. You will have him looking lethargic in the ring. Simplify the fight game for Anthony Joshua. For the type of physicality he brings and the skills that he has. And that's coming forward, stiff jab, punishing. He ain't meant to be floating like a butterfly, sting like a bee. No. He meant to be that pit bull that runs up on your yard and bites you on your fucking forehead. He's a hornet, not a bee. Okay? Right now, all y'all doing, because if he has to fight that man right there and trying to be too tactical, box too much, he's going to have a problem. Because I don't think he's going to be able to outbox Alexander Usyk. He won't be able to outbox a Tyson Fury. But as a fundamentally sound tactical brute, he can beat both of these men. That a tactical, fundamentally sound brute that's always going forward. He will beat both of these men because he be playing to his strengths. If he's going backwards, he's going away from his strengths. So again, Anthony Joshua does not need reinventing. Stop this talk of, I like how he beat Andrew Ruiz in the second fight, a la Ali and all. That's bullshit. He looked nothing like an Ali. He don't have the grace, the feet, the move, the natural reflexes, the instincts to be like an Ali. You have to be able to read an opponent really fast to do the things like an Ali or a pull counter. He's not a fighter who should be doing pull counters like he's Floyd Mayweather. Hell no. It looked good when he did it against Pulev, but remember, that was against Kubrat Pulev. That pull counter is not going to work on him, I do not believe, or him. But being a tactical brute with a stiff, hard-ass jab, snapping, Larry Holmes style, coming forward, ready to land a crushing right hand, resetting, stiff jab, body, crushing right hand, left hook to the body, stepping back, not staying in the kitchen sink too long. Why? He doesn't have the speed advantage in there. That's a tactical brute pushing forward. As big and strong as Anthony Joshua is, he is not meant to fight backwards. His body is not built for that. He don't have the feet to do that. And it would just make him uncomfortable and make him have to think too much, which would make him more mentally fatigued in a fight, which would then spill over to the body. As the mind goes, so does the body. There's nothing wrong with Anthony Joshua, people. Let him be. Let him continue to work on the things that got him to where he is today and improve the things that hindered him, and that is stamina and endurance. That was his main problem. And understand, don't ever hook with a hooker. ever again. That's it. People are saying don't like the people are dogging the performance. I gave it a C minus. Right. But I'm not criticizing for the fighter I want him to be. I'm criticizing for trying to reinvent or change from who he naturally is. And he got the championships. He defended his belts by being who he naturally is. When he lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., again, people over dissected and everybody was looking for why he lost. He lost again because he broke a cardinal rule. Simple as that. And that was hooking with a hooker that could hook faster than his ass can. Simple as that. He gave up the distance control because he had the reach. He got in too close. So he had a mental lapse. That's all it was. You subtract that, he dominated that fight. Well, I don't know. I'm not saying Usyk does beat Joshua. I'm saying Joshua cannot go in there trying to box Usyk. One thing we know Usyk does have is an amazing tank, J.R. Bell. Stamina is not his issue. Joshua need to go in there and be a tactical, fundamentally sound, brute puncher. That's pretty much. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is there was nothing wrong with the pre-Andy Ruiz Joshua. There was nothing wrong at all. The only thing wrong is he made a grave tactical mistake, and that was hooking with a hooker that was faster than him. Before he was dropped, the fight was in his hands. We all saw that. When he bowled in with his guards up, it came up with the uppercut left hook on Andy Ruiz. He flattened him. What was that? A tactical brute. He didn't go in there dancing. He bowled in around the freaking right to the chest, threw an uppercut left hook. Andy Ruiz went flat. He got greedy. He lost focus, started hooking with him. He got dropped. That's what he did wrong. Plain and simple. But there was nothing wrong with him. He was very comfortable. Now we looking at him. Second Andy Ruiz fight. This fight. Everybody, the whole world saying he need to be lighten up. I mean, lighter on his feet, which I agree. But I'm only saying that he had to be a little bit lighter so he could get his endurance and stamina in check. Not change his style. Yes, a fundamentally sound, tactical, brute, puncher, bully. That's Anthony Joshua. That's what he did to Dylan White. That's what he did to Alexander Povetkin. He was getting good at it. Bad mistake, cost him the fight versus Ruiz. Now everybody's saying, oh, you got to box more, do this and do that. That's why his performances aren't looking that good now. Because now it's like, instead of maybe, I'm not a trainer, y'all, but instead of maybe his corner saying, look, you did nothing wrong at all after the fight. Maybe his trainer, Eddie Hearn, you did nothing wrong. The only mistake you made was you let him get too close and you start hooking with him. That was it. But I thought the Joshua that beat freaking Alexander Povetkin would beat Fury. The Joshua that beat Alexander Povetkin beats Usyk, beats Wilder, can beat all of them. But the Joshua we're seeing today that they're trying to tweak and make more of a boxer, I don't see beating those guys. That is the point I'm saying. Yes, a tactical brute. And put fundamentally sound in there. And patient. A fundamentally sound, patient, tactical brute. That's it. He don't need to be no beautiful boxer. No. Well, I mean, everybody's been dropped now, haven't they? Well, yeah, for a non-watchable fight against a lethargic Klitschko, I thought it was a great fight. You know what I mean? But I mean, to each his own. It was his time to lose. I don't know how you say it was his time to lose. I don't know what that means. I think he just had a mental loss. He lost strategy. He lost focus. He made a bad move. That's all, in my humble opinion. That's what I'm saying, Michael Buffer. And all these people telling him different things in his head is giving him an identity crisis with his style of fighting. And it's too late to be trying to do that. He was perfectly fine before, and it was fine-tuning that. He has both elements, but one I feel is much stronger than the other. And he should stick with his strengths and improve on them. That's all I'm saying. I feel you though 300%. He got clarted. What you mean, Ali? Yeah. I believe it's an identity crisis with the style of fighting he's doing. That's all I mean. I thought I explained it. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? You can't tell me who do y'all believe is better? Who do you guys believe is better? Alexander Povetkin, or Kubrat Pulev? Answers. Who's a better fighter to me, you think? Who's a better fighter, you think? Alexander Povetkin or Kubrat Pulev? Please give me your answer. We got one Povetkin, Muhammad Ali. Who do you think is a better fighter all around? Povetkin or Pulev? And tell me, after that, which performance looked better? Of course, Povetkin was before Andy Ruiz. But tell me which performance looked better? The performance versus Povetkin or the performance versus Pulev? Be honest. I definitely think Povetkin is way better than Pulev. Pulev looked much more polished than Povetkin did? Wow. Are you serious? Okay. Everybody got their point. The Dylan White, yes. The Dylan White version was a tactical brute. But for sure. And the Povetkin version. Yeah, he touched AJ up with a couple of hooks. Somebody said Pulev looked much more polished than Povetkin. I think that's crazy. Kamal, you think Pulev is better than? Damn. Okay, shit. Okay, Povetkin. J.R. Bell Povetkin. Yeah, first three. Mr. Cheesehead said Pulev is better than Povetkin. Okay. Povetkin was a gold medalist too, right? Olympics. So, but much more amateur career. But Will Stokes, Cheesehead said Pulev. Will Stokes said Pulev. Will Stokes said Pulev. Okay. I don't know if the shots Povetkin got to him. You gotta expect him to get hit. He got hits with rights. He got hit with some rights from Pulev. You know, he got hit with rights from Pulev. So I mean, and this is professional boxing. You're going to get hit a few times, I believe. Yeah, Povetkin was a freaking only had one loss too versus who? Vladimir Klitschko. Vladimir Klitschko stopped Pulev. He couldn't stop Povetkin. That went 12 rounds. Povetkin was never stopped until he fought Joshua. And Joshua stopped him in the 8th round. Pulev, what was that, the 9th? I'm not going against y'all because I'm just trying to get my point. I thought Joshua's won the Povetkin fight pretty clearly. He maybe lost one or two, but I think he lost maybe one or two versus Pulev too. I only thought he lost about 2 rounds versus Povetkin. I thought he lost one or two versus Pulev. But he looked more comfortable, in my opinion, in the Povetkin fight. Once he settled in, he looked great. He started doing a fucking shoulder roll in that bitch. I want to hit on everybody's comment. Joshua Poetic Boy, mental lapses. AD needs you in his training camp and corner, Mari. You seem to know so much more than his handlers. Man, I'm just throwing my opinion. I'm just the empath in me, the studying of me, see a guy that looked like he was thinking too much in that ring, honestly. Like he was in a crossroads of what style he should have. But I think the style he started out fighting with is the style that he's most comfortable with. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? And one loss shouldn't make him change who he is dynamically as a fighter. That's all I'm saying. Just improve those things. And the main improvement I felt he needed was just more discipline. He lacked discipline and forgot who he was by trying to hook with the hooker, who was Andy Ruiz. And that's what caused that fight. It started going downhill from there. That's it. Yeah, he has some mental lapses, and that will come with being under the pressure he's in. And that's why I said earlier, usually guys in a 22nd, 23rd, 24th fight are fine-tuning and maybe going for their first, in most cases going for their first championship. Joshua is the unified champion with all the belts, and he's, again, going through his learning curve as a champion, which is one of the reasons why he's so dissected by us. But I'm just really speaking objectively from what I see. And I see a dude who didn't have nothing wrong with him before, just needed to be, again, fine-tuned more, who was a tactical, pushing forward brute. Fundamentally sound with that. Yeah, he's said that in that style, two short fighter hookers, Pavek and Ruiz. I don't think he was comfortable in Pavek fight. He was coming down to Pavek and bending his knees. Yeah, he's expressed that. He said that out open. He said that after the Pavek fight. Remember? But he was winning the Andy Ruiz fight all the way up till he lost mental focus. And he started hooking with a hooker. The cardinal rule you shouldn't do. And that's what, boom, the first knockdown. Then shortly after that, boom, the second knockdown. And then he was fine for the rest of the fight. He was gaining control. And then Andy Ruiz started bum rushing him real fast, pushing him backwards, which made Joshua what? Vulnerable. Why? Because he can't fight going backwards like that. First time I noticed that was the fight versus Joseph Parker. You got to be trained just to keep that arm out there, to keep the distance, to boom, land a hard right hand, timing the fighter as they come in my opinion. I'm not saying it didn't help him lose. I'm not saying, it's supposed to help him lose. But some guys, after their first loss, are never the fighter they were before. Yeah, of course you're not. You're going to learn from it, whatever. Point is, I'm saying is, there was nothing wrong with the wheel. Again, if you don't hear what I'm saying, the wheel didn't need reinventing. It just needed fine-tuning. And better focus in the ring. That's it. Not to make certain mistakes. Because if he's thinking too much in the ring versus particular fighters, one particular Fury, that will be taken advantage of. And I'm making this video because somebody from the Joshua camp, somebody in the world going to hear this. It could mean back to him. This is not a hate video. This is an observation, a plead, or what have you, that nothing's wrong with Anthony Joshua before and during the fight with Andy Ruiz. So don't reinvent him again. Right, no doubt. Did Lewis change his style after he lost? I heard it took him to get his groove. Michael Buffer. Yeah, it took him some time. He found his identity later on in his career. And once he found his identity, he was okay. Joshua found his identity early on. That's what got him his success. And I don't think he needs to go away from that. That's all, again, I'm reiterating. The Afro AJ versus the skin fade AJ is the real question. Yeah. Lewis Shane's. Gotcha. In the Oliver McCall fight, that he really never vindicated himself because Oliver McCall had mental issues. We all saw the breakdown in the fight. So, to me, in the Povetkin, he seemed more confident. Yeah, to me, in the Povetkin fight, he seemed more confident. However, he looked much less elite to me than he did on Saturday. To me, AJ looked like the fighter that's much harder to beat now than he was before. Okay. I mean, hey, Will Stokes. Hey, man, I feel you. I feel you. I disagree, but hey, man, everybody see things differently. And again, as I say on this channel, ain't nothing wrong with that. Time will tell. That's for sure. Time will tell. But I think the AJ of old would have got Pulev out of there in that third round, when he knew he had him hurt for the most part. That Pulev would have been out of there in that, third or fourth round when he went down twice. That's my point. You feel me? That's my point. That's all I'm saying. After he knocked him down twice in the third round, it shouldn't have went to the ninth round. Do anybody agree with me or disagree? Yeah, got to remember. Yeah, well, that's what I've said a number of times. He's been learning through. I said, like, yeah, y'all heard me. You heard what I said already, JR. I said it twice. Yeah. He's been going through this as a champion the last 4 fights, 5 fights, 6 fights. Yeah, Povetkin. Well, that's all I'm saying, Troy. Povetkin, even though he got hit too much, his focus never wavered. He lost his focus in some points versus Pulev. I know. That's all I'm fucking saying. Because he's thinking too much. That's what I mean by the identity crisis. It all ties in. It all ties in. You know what I'm saying? It will all tie in. That is my point, brother. That's all I'm saying. And if you haven't, please hit the like button. I appreciate it. It helps this channel grow and bring good talks like this. The Virgin versus AJ Dominic Brazil is still my best. Gotcha. You're right, Mike. I think so far we can all agree that he keeps on learning, growing, and improving every time he steps into the ring. True. Yeah, I agree. AJ does better against fights. Yeah, but he's not going to be in that case all the time. And like he said, he wants to fight Anna Ruiz again to knock him out. You know why? Because he knew he should have beaten badgered his ass in that second fight. And that's why, and because he didn't do that in the rematch, when Anna Ruiz gave him all the opportunity by coming in out of shape, he still had these lingering effects and still dealing with this identity crisis because of that. Anna Ruiz laid himself on a platter for his ass in that second fight, and AJ did not take advantage. Why? Because that was the first fight was the loss in the first fight was the start of this reinvention of Anthony Joshua to be a better boxer. And it was the wrong move. And I'm going to keep pushing that shit till they hear me. To me, his best performance was against Brazil and Klitschko. Klitschko was the tactical, well, the performance against both of those guys was a fundamentally sound tactical brute. That's my point. He wasn't on his boxing shit. But he had stamina issues. He punched himself out. And that was the only thing I ever really iterated that he needed to work on. And maybe get down to the 240 was to improve stamina and conditioning. That's it. AJ's just learning different styles from Shaolin so he can adapt when necessary. That's all gravy. But again, you got to be a fast thinker in that ring. Stick to what he do best. It's just my opinion. Yeah, he was comfortable versus Povetkin. After about, say, the third round, he got comfortable in there versus Povetkin too. Free wants to. I know he's seeing what I'm seeing, Michael Buffer. He's seeing it exactly. That's why he won it now. And that's why I'm making this video right now. That's why I'm making this video right now. Because I know Fury is seeing what the fuck I'm seeing. I know it. Y'all can, anybody can disagree with me with all they want. I know Fury is seeing exactly what the fuck I am seeing, bro. He's like, this is now the time. Because he's dealing with a quagmire and an identity crisis within his style. This is the perfect time to fight him. He's going to take advantage, if I'm being honest. He's going to need another fight for Fury. It's too early for him to try new things against Fury. Yeah, no new things. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm saying. None of that shit. He need to fight. Truth be told, he must fight Fury the exact same way Deontay Wilder fought Fury in that first fucking fight. And what did Deontay Wilder do in the first fucking fight? He went forward on Fury. It wasn't just that tactical. It wasn't that fundamentally sound, but he kept just coming at Fury. Now, Joshua, a fundamentally sound tactical brute, doing the same thing to Fury, leans in more Joshua favor in that fight all day and every day, in my opinion. My very strong opinion. Humble opinion. Yeah, I agree he should be able to adapt and to be able to read. You know what I mean? But he don't change who he is. You know what I'm saying? Being able to adapt to a fighter, okay, is totally different than changing a fighter changing who he is as a fighter. That's all I'm saying. Joshua will never be a great boxer fighting backwards. He needs to be plowing forward. So he needs to enhance the particular skills, the punch selection, fluidity, endurance, to constantly and defensive fundamental skills, to always be going forward and pushing his opponents backwards, imposing himself in a very tactical, smart, mannerly way, in my humble opinion. A great win, but I don't think it was the most amazing performance, if you know what I mean. Who are you talking about? Fury has a year lead. Fury has a year lead. Fury turned pro 2008, AJ 2013. AJ needs to himself quickly. I think I get what you're saying, but Will Stokes, my response to you is everything you said. I ain't y'all gonna. We just different on Joshua's approach from this point. Yeah, that's it. Well, that's what we're supposed to do, man. It's all love. But I'm firm about not reinventing who he is as a fighter. You know what I mean? He shouldn't be, dancing too much, blase. It's just going to tire him out more. All that dancing and extra thinking, it's going to just mentally tire him out more. He's already a cerebral fighter as it is. So keep it simple for him with the attributes that he have already. That's to his advantage, in my opinion. You're right in a sense, and it was good performance concerning the competition. But if you take that context away, then I don't think it was brilliant performance. It was a good based on the. Y'all, maybe is that you, Stokes and Graham talking back and forth? Fact that it was Klitschko, yeah. The wrong move in the Ruiz fight, Myron, would have been to lose. He won. He continues to win, and Ruiz has continued to talk and nothing else. Yeah. He won, but he also lost. If you know what I mean. He won in that fight, but he also lost a bit too. I know what you're saying, but I know you know what I'm saying. And that was the mental factor, the mental war. He won that fight, but he hasn't won the war yet. He lost the mental battle. He hasn't won the war yet. That is still a war going on. And we will see a Joshua Ruiz 3. So that's why he mentioned Ruiz again in the post fight after the Pulev fight. Why would he mention Ruiz again that he won a third Ruiz fight and he wants to knock him out? Because Joshua knows exactly what the fuck I know. And Joshua knows most people looking at it unbiasedly, objectively, saw exactly what I saw in that second fight. That's why he said that. That's why he feels that inside. Joshua knows he needed to stop him. Joshua knows that shit. He knows that. And that's why it's still lingering. That's why he mentioned them after that fight. Facts. And that's why he said he got to knock him out. He wouldn't have said that after the Pulev fight if he didn't feel that deep inside. Because he knows it. And that's my point. So he won that fight, but that's still a war going on. J Blues Radio, what's popping, champ? Let's not hope not. Loud and strong because it needs to be heard. Drop the link, sir. I here for 20 minutes. Man, I'm not doing a group thing. I'm about to end this sucker in 6 minutes, and I'm out of here. I just want to go and talk with y'all. Always having everybody on the panel. I just want to do one solo this time. You know what I mean? Try this, mix it up. Marvin, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you this, bro. Which heavyweights of this era are most likely to become ATGs in your opinion? ATG? What do you mean? What's ATG? Anthony ATG? What do you mean? Yeah, yeah. But we're gonna have to see. The book isn't finished up on either of these guys. You know what I'm saying? Without growth, you supposed to grow. Absolutely. DT3, what's up, King? You know what I'm saying? What's so? What do you? I believe AJ still a beast. His style, I believe AJ still a beast. His style is technical now, and I think he is fighting this way to avoid getting hit like he gets hit before. Yeah, well, Joshua didn't get hit much before. When Joshua got hit, is because he didn't no longer control the distance and kept his reach as an advantage. He'll go in and start wailing. When Joshua got caught with when Joshua got caught with that beautiful left hand from Dylan White, what was he doing? He was wailing left hooks at Dylan White. That's when he got caught with his by Dylan White's left hook. He had Dylan White back up against the ropes. Yeah, I know because I got a photographic memory. He had Dylan White up against the ropes to start wailing left hooks, and Dylan White caught his ass with a left hook in between them. Boom. He lost sight, lost focus. Start hooking with a hooker. Again, those are 2 times that Joshua just like 2 of the 3 times Joshua really got hurt. 2 times trying to hook with a hooker. You remember that? Am I wrong? Dylan White caught him with that hook, buckled his ass. Didn't knock him down, but pushed Joshua back. He tried to go in and get Joshua out of there. He tired himself out. Gave Joshua time to come back, regain himself. Joshua, that's the only mistake he made. Hooking with a hooker. He got hurt. Hooking with a hooker versus Anna Ruiz got hurt, and Anna Ruiz kept that pressure, applying that pressure. That's it. There was nothing wrong with the wheel. There was nothing wrong to be changed about Joshua. He is a fundamentally sound, tactical brute. Not no boxer. Not no pure boxer. Don't change him into that. It fucks up with his psyche. We're going to see. Not the Joshua that fought Pulev. Now the Joshua that fought Povetkin and Dylan White, that combination of that Joshua, yes. That Joshua beats Fury in my opinion. Okay. That's what he meant, all-time great. What was the question again? Who in this Will Stokes? You're right. Go back to your question. Which heavyweights of this era are most likely to become all-time greats? Most likely all-time greats? Anthony Joshua. If he gains his identity back. If he goes back to who he truly is and just refine that. The Joshua back then didn't have bad feet. Look at the Joshua that fought Povetkin. That was a Joshua with good feet, but he didn't do too much of that dancing shit. He wasn't lethargic in there. He was a strategic, fundamentally sound, tactical brute. And that's why the victory versus Povetkin, who's a better fighter than Pulev, which is much more impressive than a fight versus Pulev, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't think you want to at all. Yeah. And it's good that he does that to keep him thinking. True indeed. But he can't lose himself. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is trying to pull counter versus Pulev is a lot easier than trying to do a pull counter versus Tyson Fury. Okay? That's just my point. I don't think that's something he should be trying a whole lot. Stick to what he's very, very good at and improve on those things. There will never be a Ruiz 3. I think there will be a Ruiz 3, without a doubt. Or that's going to linger in Joshua's head. 6 minutes that can fracture on. Maybe he just used his style for Pulev. Let's hope so. Needs to knock Fury out in 6 rounds. So what tells me he going back to the old way? Well, yeah. And he said he needed to steamroll Pulev too. He said that he going to steamroll Pulev. But he tried in the 3rd round. But somewhere along that way, Austin Powers needs his mojo back. True indeed. And I'm going to need to get off this joint. It was an hour, well spoken. I need to get off this joint and get me some goddamn rest. It's 11:21. Gotta be up and work early. I remember the hook. Then I remember White dead as the disco on his back. Yes, he was. True indeed. The tactical brute got him out of there. MMA bet surgeon, no doubt, Patrick. Peace out to you as well. Peace out to everybody, man. Please like, subscribe, hit the like button. Be honest, the fight should have been stopped. Ref was crap. Yeah. He turned his back. They're doing that and boom, boom, boom. But Joshua turned his back. If you remember the fight versus Ruiz, Joshua he didn't turn his back all the way, but his back got turned versus Ruiz a little bit during one of those knockdowns, if y'all remember. Till next time, fellas. Peace and pugilism. One love. All right. Boxing Logics United. Signing off. Peace. Thank you all.